Hi, my name is Lana. Welcome to a presentation on the basics of copyright law and how copyright law affects the distance classroom. The Copyright Act of 1976 was established so that the creators of intellectual work would be protected from having their work copied by others. Copyright protection allows creators to control the copy, distribution, and performance rights of their work. In addition, copyright allows creators the rights to derivative work. Derivative works are items such as movies and books based on an original work. An author other than J.K. Rowling could not legally make Harry Potter a character in another book. A graphic artist cannot make a poster with photoshopped work based on an identifiable Associated Press photo. The Copyright Act of 1976 covers a wide variety of creative works, from paintings to sculpture to novels, poetry, songs, architecture, movies, dance, and more. There are some time limits to copyright protection. In most cases, the copyright protection lasts 70 years after the creator's death. However, some copyrighted work is created by anonymous authors or is created as work for hire, where the copyright belongs to an organization. In such cases, the protection lasts for 95 years after publication or 120 years after the death of the creator, whichever comes first. Works created before 1989 without the copyright symbol are not protected. Anything that would otherwise fall under copyright protection with or without the symbol is protected after 1989. Anything created before 1923 is not covered by copyright protection. Items in the public domain may be freely copied and shared. Works in the public domain include items for which the copyright is expired, works created before 1923, works without the symbol before 1989, or works created by the government. The Copyright Act is based on an economic model. Creators of intellectual property should benefit from their creations. According to the supporters of the Copyright Act, allowing others to profit from intellectual property would decrease creativity. Copyright restrictions help corporations control the flow of information by attaching a price to that information. Restrictions also help lawyers earn their keep by filing injunctions and lawsuits. Copyright limits freedom of expression and can be harmful to society as a whole, as information is restricted. In the past decade, there has been an open access movement against copyright and toward copyleft guidelines. As noted by Lawrence Lessig of Harvard Law, founder of Creative Commons, if the Internet teaches us anything, it is that great value comes from leaving core resources in a commons where they're free for people to build upon as they see fit. Despite the restrictions of copyright law, traditional educational settings have wide leeway. Fair use guidelines appear in Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act. Through the fair use doctrine, copyrighted work can be used for criticism, news, research, and importantly, education. There are 4 determining factors on whether the use of copyrighted material is fair or not: the purpose of the use, the nature of the work, the amount of the work used, and the effect of the usage on the market. First, the purpose of the use must be considered. Is something added to the work, such as an illustration to a copyrighted poem? Is the use for profit or not for profit? Second, the nature of the copyrighted work must be considered. Fair use is more likely for factual works than for strictly creative works. Additionally, fair use of published works is more likely than for unpublished works. Third, the amount of work used must be considered. Using a small percentage of work is more likely to be considered fair use than a large percentage. However, if the small amount constitutes the heart of the work, fair use will be unlikely. Fourth, the effect of usage on the market must be considered. Does the use deprive the owner of potential income or deprive the owner of a potential new market? If so, fair use is unlikely. While the fair use doctrine is applicable to traditional educational settings, distance education does have some leeway. The TEACH Act of 2002 applied some principles of fair use to distance education. The TEACH Act allows instructors in accredited nonprofit institutions to use limited amounts of material that is directly pertinent to course lessons. The material must be available to current students only and not permanently available. The instructor must share only legally obtained material, include copyright notifications, and no attempts can be made to circumvent paid access. Using copyrighted material in today's litigious society is a dangerous prospect. Even when care is taken, a lawsuit is possible if the material is not clearly in the public domain. The Fair Use Doctrine and the TEACH Act do provide some guidance, but whenever there is doubt, seek permission of the copyright holder. For more information on copyright and the implications for education, please see the following sources.